Good morning and welcome back to it, the Now Morning Show here on TTT, where we're giving you the warmth that you actually want to enjoy. This morning, though, we are speaking about, as Denise was telling us, we women, particularly the Women's Roundtable Action Platform, also known as WRAPTT. And this morning, to tell us more about that, is Dr. Raedene Copeland, the board chair, giving us some insights on how we can get on board. Good morning and welcome to the Now Morning Show.
Good morning. How are you? And thanks for having me.
I'm thrilled, quite frankly, because as much as we know, particularly with our budget, most of the allocation has gone to education. Mentorship is a beautiful way to educate not just the next generation, but ourselves and hold ourselves accountable. So I would like to jump straight in getting into, first of all, what is WRAP?
What is WRAPTT? WRAPTT is an initiative of His Excellency Ambassador Philip Spencer, right? He's our ambassador to the United States. And his vision was to gather the women of the diaspora to present a pathway for us to give back collectively. So we can be one source of contribution to addressing some of the social ills that face women, but not only focusing on the ills, but providing that visible like mentorship and leadership and that idea of you can be all you want to be. So that's really the foundation of it, of us kind of tapping into the diasporic network and giving back into Trinidad and Tobago.
That sounds beautiful. When we talk about diaspora, that means that we're looking across the regions, but be it Caribbean, be it US or not. And in that case, why did you choose to get involved?
Well, I am Trini to the bone, as they would say. I feel as if, you know, sometimes you're like, wow, I'm getting old. But I feel as if, you know, in my journey, I have always, when I was 11, I told my parents, hey, I'm just going to go away and I was that kid. Go away and charge my own path. I was like, yes. But I was really seeking personal and professional development, not necessarily this idea that I was fascinated with America. It was just, I felt I had what it took to go away, make my mistakes, and just learn those hard lessons on my own. I know, I was that kid. So I have been away now longer than I've been in Trinidad and Tobago. I think the past 25 years, I went through that journey, but I've always endeavored to give back. So my background is in higher ed. So I've been a tenured professor and assistant provost of faculty research and development, and now I run my business, Achieve Brand Consulting. So I do leadership global development. But in that work, I've always endeavored to give back. So I would come back. I'm a curiosity girl also. So I would
Curiosity pride shines through.
So I'd always come back and have my parents doing events for me. Like my first event was Woman is Boss, and just really focusing on women branding themselves professionally and understanding that your presence from the time you step into the room, from the time you speak, that you have that impact in those spaces. And you know that we're still navigating some of the I wouldn't say challenges, but some of the stages of a patriarchal society where we're still behind in terms of pay gaps and different metrics there. So that would be why I got involved personally.
I love the drive. I love the focus as well in terms of some very big ticket issues. But then how does WRAP benefit the average woman or young lady then? What would be the trickle down? Because those are some big goals that we have there.
Topics.
But on an individual basis, how can we benefit being part of WRAPTT?
Exactly. So what we're trying to do is get women collectively. So it's not like we're just focused on one area. And it may sound big, but we have really some heavy hitter women, I think locally and globally, that when we come together, we created inclusive spaces through mentorship, education, networking, and access. So for the mentorship, this year we're really excited because we just narrowed it to women between the ages of 21 to 35, right? Women who are in the workplace and they're like, why am I getting paid less? So I really want to see more female mentors. And we know that certain industries are doing a lot better than other industries in terms of female leadership presence, but yet still you find that women with the same level of education, right? And the same time at a company, they call that finding a male comparator. You see that they are not being paid the same. And this is a global issue, right? So this is not just a Trinidad issue. Women are paid 80 cents to the dollar on average. Then in education, we have a strong partnership with NEHRST, and some of our previous chairs really focused on mental health and so forth. And with the pandemic, I'm sure we're all aware that that really disrupted the flow of education. And when you think of our beautiful Twin Islands, I was in America when the pandemic happened, clearly, because I couldn't come home, right? That part. So I was away. But the point is that you know that when you think of access to technology and so forth, you saw that, yeah, it just disrupted the landscape. So we have individuals who are stars, you know, stalwarts in the education industry and so forth, working on that specific pillar to bring opportunities. So we have a workshop coming up with NEHRST on November 15th on providing scholarships, right? Having those conversations to provide scholarships. Then we have our networking pillar, which, as it suggests, we're focusing on networking and communication, and that is bringing women together, helping them focus on professional development, professional polish, speaking, and really networking with other women. So our hope is that as we continue to grow and bring more women in, that if you say, hey, I want to speak to someone who works at Microsoft, like I'm based in Seattle, and we have all those heavy hitters like Microsoft, Amazon. I mean, all my friends are, you know, they're doing amazing things in the tech industry, and you know that's where society's at. So our thing is providing these inclusive spaces and easy access to the diaspora and to women who are doing different things in that field, and then access as a whole. If you think of, have you ever heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Okay, if you think of those two, you think of those two lower rungs of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is just like, and you think of the UN's rights for women. We, you know, women, I mean, we are the bearers of the future generation. We're a pretty big deal, aren't we, right? So society has to protect
I like this.
Society has to protect us, because without women, how do we continue the human race? So when you think of the lower two rungs of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that's right to safety, clean water, consistent water, protection, safety, and things like that. If we focus on highlighting issues in that area, that's our access pillar, then we feel as if you create that foundation where women can thrive. So that's how we work.
The work has to get done, and I am loving that that takes shape in different forms, as you mentioned, the pillars. But very quickly, tell me about the Elimination of Violence initiative that is happening on the 2nd of December, is it?
Exactly. We are having an international walk on December the 2nd. Now, we are modeling, of course, the UN's designation, time designation for the elimination of violence, and we want to bring awareness. Now, I have been integrating myself and digging into the data, you know, as an academic and a researcher, I'm digging into the data, and I knew, like, just on a global scale, like I was just looking at something on PBS. I was like, wow, we really reached the PBS, where they're doing segments on domestic violence in Trinidad and some of the challenges we have. So we definitely want to highlight this issue, and our walk is on December 2nd. We will have broader programming, but just to focus on the walk, we have a walk in Trinidad, right? And we're selling T-shirts, and parts of the proceeds will go towards an organization that deals with domestic violence, so we can have that impact. But we have a walk in Queens Park, Savannah, a walk in Maryland at Rock Creek Park, a walk in Fort Lauderdale at Snyder Park, and a walk in New York at Prospect Park.
All simultaneously happening?
Yeah, on the same day.
Nice.
So we are working to have that visibility. Our goals will be education, visibility, and impact. And our theme is hope, healing, overcoming, you know, perseverance and empowerment. Like, we want women to come together, but also those women who are victims to see that we are marching for change and we're trying to have a visible difference.
Well, you've certainly made some visible difference this morning. Your presence here has enlightened us on the an insurmountable amount of work that you're attempting or beginning to embark on for WRAPTT.org is where we can get more information.
Exactly,
I'm sure.
WRAPTT.org.
And so let me say thank you very much to you, Dr. Copeland, for taking time out to come and let us know what you're doing and for continuing to do it with so much passion and drive. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ainka.
A pleasure having you here, Dr. Raedene Copeland, the board chair for WRAPTT, getting ready to march towards change and empowerment for women, and we are glad to have had them here on the Now Morning Show. Guys, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back with even more empowering things, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back.